Wagwan family, blessings from Iron, blessings from a beautifully peaceful Mother Nature, blessings from ancestry, them there each time. We give thanks for another day of liberty. Love to Father Son. Now speaking of Father Son, today, July 23rd, would have been the 131st Earthstrong of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I. Now seeing as today we have a king, Charles, and the king of all kings, Selassie, I'm going to show you how they compare, or lack of comparison, but also show you how I find Selassie inspiring, and it starts with honor. So to begin with, we must know who we are to know who we are not. We must know where we come from to know where we're going. We are spiritual entities. We are connected to source. We are light. We are love. We are energy having a human experience. I say this because we are many things. We're not just one thing, put in boxes and labeled. I am a black man. I am a man. I am a partner, a son, a friend. I'm a dad of 2 black boys. And it's important to know these things because we have people looking up to us. My children look up to me. So I have to embody the principles which I want them to learn in life. And as such, I as an individual, you have your thing, I have my thing. I as an individual have to do the best I can. And part of this is learning from greats. So one of the first things that I learned about Haile Selassie is how much he teaches people, how much he is an advocate for education and adapting to a time and moving his people forward collectively. What I take from that is I read daily, I meditate, I focus on my health, my bond to my children. I speak to my people and give back, as I'm doing now, to my community positively because it's about unity. Imagine today's king speaking of spirituality and being one with nature and eating the foods from which you came from because that's the makeup of your physical body. King Charles of today, he still benefits from the Commonwealth, from that control, that legacy of his, which has such a terrible history to it. He also benefits from the colonial past. Instead of allowing these people their freedom, he maintains control. And now look at the crown that he wears as he sits upon his throne and rides in his gold carriage at a time where people are, his own people, by the way, are suffering so much. He maintains that control, that status. The crown that he inherited from his mum has jewels stolen from so many lands, yet he keeps it instead of giving it away. That's not honorable. Compare that to Haile Selassie. He showed people around the world of the African diaspora that he set aside land in Ethiopia so his people can repatriate and go home. He said, if you leave where you are, you have a place here called home. He did that for you. This is honorable. What's worse, very recently, King Charles has given himself a pay increase from 86 million, which is what he was already on, increased to 125 million pound. He gave himself an increase at our expense and we have to pay for it. For doing what? In a time of a cost of living crisis, where financially some of the people are doing the worst stuff they've ever done in their lifetime because of these times. Their pay is not going up, but inflation is going up, so they're worse off than they was before. This is not honorable. This is not how a king should help his people with selfishness. That is the king of today. In a time where people are fighting for their survival, the NHS, the doctors, the nurses, the fireman, the postman, everybody is fighting to maintain, to keep a roof over their head, to feed their children, and he pays himself millions more. That's not honor. Like I said in the beginning, Haile Selassie was an advocate for education. He even went as far as to use his own personal money. He put his hand in his own pocket in order to give to schools for people to buy books, to go on trips, to better themselves. This is honorable. So that's how they both deal with their people. Now let's see how they deal with their wives. Now, Haile Selassie was crowned on November 2nd, 1930. He could have been crowned King of Kings, Lord of Lords in front of 72 nations alone. But he chose to be crowned alongside Empress Menen. Because this shows balance. It shows the man them that whatever you're doing in life, you can become king of kings. You can be king within your own right, but you need an empress by your side to build. But to show you what women go through, because she speaks for the feminine where we speak for the masculine. It's about balance. Compare that to King Charles. He was married to a beautiful lady named Diana, Princess Diana. He had an affair with a butters woman named Camilla. Princess Diana died some years later in a horrific car crash, leaving 2 children. He then went and married Camilla. He went and married the side chick. That's how they treat their women. Very different. Now, let's go a step further with King Charles and his children. His youngest son, Harry, is married to a black woman. And the media is terrible against her. There's so many racist people out there, and even though she's such a light complexion, they just dislike this woman for whatever reason. She's American, she's different, they don't like her. Prince Harry had to go to the extent of leaving his royal duties in order to protect his wife and child or children the way that his dad did not protect his mum, and his mum is gone. And his dad has a side chick for a wife now. His son had to take himself away because he didn't want what happened to his mum happened to his wife. It come like a scene from a movie. It's terrible. Selassie taught us of hope, of unity, of humility, to do for oneself and help others. Speaking of doing for self, this is what was embodied by Marcus Garvey, my great, someone that I idolize, because he showed us to do for self. And these two are connected because Marcus Mosiah Garvey prophesied and told us there will be a king from the east, which will be the black man's king, the black man's liberation, and there comes Selassie. So we have to acknowledge Marcus Garvey also, because that is a whole post all on this person by themselves. As much as Selassie showed us about love and compassion and these high vibrational energies for one another, he also showed us that if there is war on your doorstep, the man must war. You must go against the oppression. You must go against your opponent and fight with all your might and defeat them for the love of peace, for the love of your people. So when you are faced with adversity, or when we're talking about spirituality, it's not always all light and love. You have to go within yourself and face the darkness. You have to go within yourself and show forgiveness. You have to go within yourself and fight for whatever you need to fight for. You have to fight alongside your people against the oppression of today's system. So when you need to fight, fight. When you need to love, love. This is balance. In a time of today where there is such propaganda and the media is being manipulated, Selassie showed us honor once again. He told us that the truth cannot be suppressed forever by false propaganda. And if we persevere, discrimination will one day be eradicated from this earth. This is true honor. This is inspiring. This is motivation. This is a leader. This is a king. Not of the king of today. This is the king of all kings. And I'm going to leave you with a speech that he wrote, which was immortalized in Bob Marley's song, War. Until the philosophy, which hold one race superior and another, is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned. Until there is no longer first class and second class citizens of any nation. Until the colour of a man's skin is of no more significance than the colour of his eyes. Until the basic human rights are equally guaranteed to all without regards to race. Until that day, the dream of everlasting peace and world citizenship and the rule of international morality will remain but a fleeting illusion, to be pursued but never attained. Until bigotry and prejudice and malicious and humane self-interest have been replaced by understanding and tolerance and goodwill. Until all Africans stand to speak as free beings, equal in the eyes of all men as they are in the eyes of heaven. Until that day, the African continent will not know peace. We Africans will fight if necessary, and we know that we shall win, as we are confident in the victory of good over evil. We have to send some love to His Imperial Majesty, Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie, Jah. Rastafari each time on his Earthstrong, as we share word, sound and power with the people and show them through representation and comparison of today's king why Selassie was the king of all kings. We also have to send some love to Marcus Messiah Garvey, but also Empress Menen, who sat beside Haile Selassie, provided him counsel, provided him love, providing him that balance, because we are one. Omega, Alpha, Sun, Moon, as within, so without. The things that are happening here, today, in this realm, is also happening in the next. So we must go within ourselves and develop our spirituality so we can travel, we can retrace our heritage, our steps, go back within our ancestors and communicate once again and bring forth messages from them and from the Most High, because we have that power within ourselves. We've just forgot. This is your reminder. Love each time. Bless Earthstrong to the King each time. Blessed.